I always tell our clients what we're driving for is that moment where you walk into a place and you feel like you've been there before, and yet I've never seen anything like it.
I think what we have are two strong but different artist types, and we come together on a project, and ideally the goal is 1 + 1 = 3. Pilar is a very rangy type of artist, sort of like a Picasso, where she can do so many things really well. I'm a very deliberate, focused type of artist, like a Mark Rothko, who will just paint the same thing over and over again, trying to get to some fundamental truth. And I think the combination of the two works really well. So, for example, I tend to be material and process oriented, and she's more oriented towards the large scale activity. So it's kind of perfect, because I'll make little things and she'll figure out how to orchestrate them into the grand scheme of things and make the big space sing.
We maintain an architecture and interior design studio in New York City, which provides us a base for inspiration, while our Connecticut studio provides us a laboratory for focused thinking.
What is your dream project, either as a team or individually, that's something that you've always wanted to do?
I have to say I've been fortunate to do 4 of my dream projects already: Scoville Library, Quirk Hotel, Hotchkiss Schools, Arts Wing, and Harbor Island. When a project such as Quirk comes our way, we immediately start looking at the place, the history, the people, the community, and we are thinking about that. And we are reading about that. And we are bringing those kind of conversations to it before we even start to design. We're really kind of trying to get into the heads of the people that are going to eventually walk into that space.
There's a very good example in the lobby of the Quirk Hotel, where I had sort of designed a few objects: the front desk, the bar, the coffee bar. And they were all placed within this grid that defined 18 groin vaults in the lobby ceiling. And Pilar just one day drew some scribbles across the page, and these beautiful serpentine lines, and those became the banquettes that sort of just tied it all together.
I love color, and I love shapes, and I love all of that. And he's looking at objects. What is this piece? What are these architectural elements?
We were approached by the board of Scoville Library to come in and do a renovation. It was to be a light renovation, just put some lipstick on it and send it on its way. It hadn't been touched since the 1980s. But then we said, if you'll stretch yourself a little further, there are a lot of opportunities here that can turn this place completely around and make it a total different experience for your patrons. Because there were some opportunities hiding right in plain sight. First off, they had an above-ground basement that was totally unused, and we found that if we just cut a hole in the floor, we could drop a stair in. Now we could have a children's library downstairs as opposed to in the main living room. Upstairs, there was a tower room, and in the tower room were so many books and so much clutter, nobody ever noticed that about 20 feet up in the air, there's a beautiful plaster ceiling, unbelievable detail. Nobody ever saw it. So our solution for this was we cleared out the room. We put a giant disc of highly reflective stainless steel material table in, and the idea was it was so reflective that when you looked down, you saw up.
In our world, we not only design, but Rob prototypes a lot of things for us. So, for instance, we'll prototype a corner of a bed, prototype a table, we'll prototype everything in his workshop. And that's kind of why we have this place. It's, 125-foot long barn. Half of it houses a workshop and half of it houses our showroom. And we consider this all sort of a laboratory of all of the things we do. So we're sketching and watercolor and all sorts of things to get to the point of having something ready to go, but then Rob will go in and actually make it, and we have it, and it's there. And oftentimes, with a lot of our projects, we actually do full-scale prototyping right here. So for instance, like for Scoville Library, we painted this room first, and then we brought everybody in and said, look, this is the color we want to use. And then upstairs, we painted the walls the colors of the children's libraries. And we live with them right now, but wait till the next project because this whole house will change. That project was kind of great. It was a residence that we kind of took apart and put back together again. Materials are super important, and the flavor was super important, and how we were going to sort of integrate the sort of traditional West Indies look back in, but in a modern way.
The Coleman Art Center at the Hotchkiss School consisted of a 9-studio art facility. A happy thing came out of a meeting one day where the facilities coordinator said, you know, we just cut down a tree out in front of the school. Is there any way we could use this in the project? And we did a little digging and found that the tree was planted 125 years ago, which was about exactly the age of the school. We ended up taking this beautiful elm tree and making all of the desks, the tables, the artist stations, and the cabinetry.
Because we do so many different types of things, the architecture, interiors, and furniture design, it is a perfect platform for all of that to come alive.
I'm interested in weight and heft and thickness and mass because I think these things last through time, and that seems important to me, not just from a green point of view. I think about the coffee cup moment. You know, the sun streaming in. I've got a very fortunate view. Steam comes off the coffee, and I'm surrounded by things that either I've made or she's made or designed, and these things start to make me think things are going to be okay.
And I'm looking at the space in how is that person going to feel when they walk in the door, and what is the thing that I need that's going to tell that story. And so it's that kind of weaving of information that makes what we do what we do.